Hello and welcome back to the Abundant Business Podcast. Today, I am really excited to be speaking with Kerry, who owns a lifestyle and home interior store in St. Neots. Now, I have been following Kerry for a little while on Instagram, and I am fascinated to see how she brings her store to life and how she introduces her store to new customers and what she's doing to keep her store going when the high street isn't really doing as well as what we would like it to be. So here's Kerry, and if you could just introduce yourself and just give us a little bit of background to you.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, like as you said, my name is Kerry, and I've got a little shop in St. Neots called Rebel Ashby. Retail is new to me. I've had the shop for just over a year, but I'm a nurse by background. So I have had a complete career change. And I really opened the shop on a bit of a whim. I wasn't planning on opening a shop. But it kind of just happened, and I love it. It's hard work. I'm kind of learning as I go along, but I love it. It's like my second home.
So how did something like opening your own store just happen? Like how does that happen to someone that was a nurse?
Welcome to the show where we're ready to grow. With Chapman here to let you know we're diving deep into the world of success. Get ready to learn, cause we're here to impress. From entrepreneurship to the latest trends, we'll explore all the ways to make ends in this fast-paced, ever-changing game. We're gonna set your dreams aflame. The Abundant Business Podcast. It's time to ignite with Chapman, leading the fight. Get ready to elevate your business game. Join us now. It's time to reclaim.
I've been a nurse for like 25 years, and I burnt out. And I knew I didn't want to go back to nursing, but I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I love interior design. I love interiors. We are serial home renovators. We've renovated 13 properties. And my husband said, when I left nursing, he's like, no, this is it. Like we're done. When we've finished renovating this cottage, it's like we're done. So that wasn't an option. I thought about doing something like interior design, something to do with interiors, didn't quite know what. So, and we was just walking through our local town one day and saw this little shop that was available, and it's tiny. It's a tiny little shop, but it's in a little muse of other independents, and I just fell in love with it and just thought I could have a shop, and completely on a whim, knew nothing about retail, went and had a look inside, signed up, and about a month later we were open.
Wow. So if we go like a couple of steps back from where you opened, like, so you found the shop
Yep.
from not having any desire from owning your own store.
Yeah, it was the last thing I was thinking about. It was, I very much believe that things happen for a reason. And I think that I was just in the right time, in the right place at the right time, and found this shop, and just my heart took over my head, really. Yeah, and we just opened.
So what was the process then? So you found the shop, and then the next step, did you look for suppliers? Did you look for anything before signing onto a lease? Or did you just go, right, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to sign this lease and I'm going to make it work afterwards?
So I went and had a look. I spoke to the other shopkeepers there, and I just really loved the vibe of the community. So I just looked around for suppliers, but at that point I obviously didn't have a business, so suppliers were reluctant to have conversations with me. So I looked for independent suppliers and just got an idea about what I could buy, because I had a really quick turnaround, like it was a month or so, maybe just over a month. So I just got what I could. And I actually, in my shop, it is tiny, but I only buy things that I love and things that I would have and do have in my own home. So actually the shopping was quite easy because I knew what I wanted to sell. It was just finding the suppliers that would give me that I would allow me to buy before the business was set up in the back end. So I got some suppliers on board. I looked at some I looked on Fair, which was great because that gave me access to lots of different suppliers.
Yeah.
And I just bought as much as I could afford to buy without completely depleting my savings. And then we got, well, I feel like I'm quite confident on social media in that I was able to kind of share my story and share the progress before we opened to build up a little bit of engagement. And we got the keys on the bank holiday Friday in August, went in, decorated. I know I didn't want it to look like a shop, so as in a I kind of had this vision, and I just bought old furniture, mismatched furniture to put in there, took some things from home to put in there, and we opened the doors on the following Sunday. So it was like quick, but I love it. I don't look, I'm sure there's things that I could have done better. I'm sure there's, I'm learning all the time because retail isn't something that I knew anything about. But I've got a very simple business model in that it's a small shop. I buy what I love. I don't buy in bulk, so I'm able to, as I sell out, bring in new things, so it keeps it fresh. The business is just me. It's not like the shop's beautiful, but the actual me behind it's just me. And so far, touch wood, it's going really well.
So how long has your shop been open for?
It was a year in September.
Okay.
So yeah, 14 months.
It's been a whirlwind of a year then.
It has. It's been crazy.
So did you start with any sort of goals in mind? Did you have any sort of business plan as such as to what you wanted to achieve and how you were going to do it? Or was it like you were, right, okay, I've seen this shop, I've got onto Fair, I found some suppliers of products or things that you like, so you just sort of started to buy them, and then was it sort of, not to put it down, but was it more of like a hope and pray that you were going to sell them, or was there a structure there?
It was possibly a bit of both. I did have like a strategy, and but I wasn't quite sure. Like on paper, it looks like quite a good strategy, but in reality, who knows? Like, who knows how this was going to work? Because my shop is very different to anything that's in the town at the moment, which is great for me. But also, like you said, the high street is not great. Our high street is not great. We are lucky that we're a little muse off of the high street, so we're all independent shops together. And
how many of you are there in this little area?
There's 10 of us, I think. So there's quite a few, and our Little Muse has a really good community vibe, and all the shops complement each other. So I wasn't sure really how it was going to go, but from the start we had a lot of support. Like the town have been so supportive, and we have customers that come back week after week. We're now getting customers that are coming into St Neots from outside for us. Our reputation is growing and our customer base is growing, and I've also now started posting out as well, so we're able to reach more people. I don't have any, like, it is a tiny shop, so stock is limited. I don't have storage, so everything at the moment is up in our spare bedroom, our excess stock. It's like, it's not ideal. Like, when I say I'm kind of winging it, I really am kind of winging it.
But you're winging it in a way in which it suits you at the moment.
Yeah, it does. It does. I'd you know, my revenue is growing months on months. When I started, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to bring in, and that was really thinking about things like, if I can pay my bills and buy new stock and pay myself a little bit, I'll be happy with that. And it very quickly became more than that. And I was getting more customers than I thought. I was having to buy more stock than I thought. Like, it took off really well, really quickly. I'm really happy with the way that it's going.
Are you expanded from where you're buying from now, I take it? So you're not just buying from the likes of Fair, I suppose?
Yeah, no, so now I've obviously got an established business. I've been able to buy from suppliers directly. So sourcing products is probably my biggest headache, if I'm honest, because I don't want to be the shop that sells everything that every other shop sells. So because it is so small, I like to have a whole mix of things. So I've got some really quirky things in there. I've got some like more beautiful statement pieces in there, but I don't buy in bulk, so then I'm able to kind of turn my stock around quickly.
When you buy your stock, are you given a recommended retail price for it, or are you pricing your stock in a way in which you see fit? Like, how are you, do you have like a plan for how you price it?
Yeah, so everything comes with the recommended retail price, and I do look at that. I do have a formula that I use, and I do also look at what other people are selling these things for, so that I remain competitive where I can. I don't underprice things. I just try to remain competitive.
Okay. And does this then play out in a way in which you work on how many customers you have come into your store so that you can have a benchmark as to how many sales that you make? Like, is that what you're aiming towards? Or so for you to say, for example, you know that you have your fixed costs of what you need to, what your business costs you even just to open the doors every day. And then you've got your variable costs in terms of the stock that you're buying and things like that. So how do you then go from saying, right, this is my profit margin for each of these products, then I need to have so many customers walking through my door every single day to meet the cost of your business? Do you have a strategy to help you to achieve that?
Yeah, well, I have in my shop, I have a mix of low cost products and higher cost products. So whereas my average spend is around £35, I have higher cost products which obviously bump those can bump those costs up. I am getting out there more. I've got more customers coming to me each week. I have more customers coming to me, and because now I sell online, my goal is to try and just get the business out there in front of more people. I've got what I think is quite a good social media strategy, so I'm attracting new customers all the time. I'm promoting myself locally I'm getting more and more people coming in that didn't know we were here. It's quite difficult to get people through the door, but once they come through the door, they come back.
What strategies have you found most effective then to getting customers through your doors?
So for local customers, I find that Instagram and Facebook work really well. I've boosted a few little posts on Instagram very locally, and that's worked well. I also have been a guest prize giver on some Instagram pages, the pages that people share their images and then they get shared on the Instagram page, and then the winner.
So more of a brand awareness exercise.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it is that I'm trying to explain. So I've been some prize givers on that, which has been really good because it's really got my reach out to people that perhaps wouldn't have found me. Okay. And I've been in I was nominated in Muddy Stilettos Awards last year, and I'd only been open a few months, which was amazing, but I was runner-up in that for home interiors, so that got me some good publicity.
And for anyone that doesn't know what Muddy Stilettos is, it's nominated by customers, isn't it? Like, you don't nominate yourself, it's something that people do for you.
Yeah, it's you're nominated by customers and then people vote for you.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was runner-up was amazing because I had a really small following at that point.
That's amazing.
That was really good. So that got me new customers in. I've been in another magazine locally called Velvet Magazine, which is for Cambridgeshire area. They did a feature on me as well, and that was good, and I got people coming in from that. And we have a local magazine in St Neots as well that did a feature on the Muse, so I got customers coming in from that. But this is something that I need to work on, and PR and getting out there is probably my biggest, I would say my biggest challenge in my business.
And is that something, so where you have now found you've got yourself a nice local following from where you are in your town, you've now, like you said, expanded onto having a web shop as well, so people anywhere can buy from you. Is it just UK based, or can it be anywhere in the world?
Just UK based.
So anywhere in the UK can buy from you.
Yeah.
So now it's about turning this experience that you have created in your store and trying to replicate that in your marketing and your messaging to connect with people in a way in which you've done so well in your local area.
Yeah.
So have you really nailed down as to the people that you're trying to attract? Like, so in this exercise of you going, right, this is what we're going to do here, now this is where I'm going to take it, have you gone, right, okay, now this is who my customer base is and this is how I can stand out in front of them? Has that?
When I opened the shop, I never really intended to do too much on the e-commerce side. Because I've got the shop is small and I don't have a lot of storage, and it is just me, and I had previously burnt out, so I wanted to keep it manageable for me. So I've focused more on the shop. Now I did think about having the shop and e-commerce, but it almost felt a bit too disjointed for me and almost like two separate businesses. And I want to focus on the shop rather than the e-commerce side. I'd like that to be like a more of an addition. So whereas I was initially thinking I'll have the shop and I'll have e-commerce and they'll kind of be separate, now I'm looking at myself as a shop that posts out.
Okay, so
it does that, yeah, I don't know if that in my head that makes sense, but rather than become a bigger business that posts out a lot, I can't do both, and I don't.
So it's more for convenience for your existing customers.
It is only me. So I think the way that I now think about it is that I've got a shop. I do click it. People can buy online and come and collect it when's convenient for them. I drop it off locally, and I do post out. But rather than having two separate kind of businesses to run, I want to focus on the shop.
So is it then that, so you've got to a point where your shop itself is sustainable, like in just 14 months, you've managed to get it to a point where you're happy with the results that you're getting from it?
Yeah.
And in terms of future growth coming for this, from what I'm hearing, tell me if I'm wrong, is that you're now looking to create a space that you can make it even more convenient for people in your local area to shop with you.
Yeah.
And you don't particularly want to stretch it out so far that you have to start employing more staff and have a bigger business as such.
Yeah, because that to me feels that it's taking it away from why I opened the shop. I opened the shop because I'd burnt out previously. I'd had a really stressful career managing a large national team.
Did you know that every successful product-based business is built on 4 essential pillars? These are attracting new customers, encouraging repeat purchases, increasing spend per visit, and creating a success-orientated mindset. Without the right mindset, even the best strategies struggle to thrive. But when these 4 pillars are solid, you are on track for wild success. And here's the exciting news. These 4 pillars are the foundation of the brand new Abundant Business Membership. Inside, you'll gain step-by-step videos to help you implement proven systems tailored to your business. Whether you're online, have a brick-and-mortar shop, or work from a market store. Each month, I'll release relevant content focused specifically on what product business owners need. Plus, every Tuesday, you'll receive exclusive one-on-one access to me via Telegram, where you can drop me questions as much as you want, and I'll respond personally with insights and advice tailored just for you. Are you ready to build your wildly successful product business? Simply click the link below to get started, and I'll see you in Telegram on Tuesday.
I burnt out and I don't want to go down that route again. So I opened the shop as somewhere that I love to go. And I don't even think about it as working. I love my shop. It's like an extension of my house. I spend my days having lovely conversations with lovely people, surrounded by beautiful things, and it's my happy place. And I don't want to get into probably people that are much younger would be thinking about right, how can we expand this business? I don't need to do that. I need to, I don't want to be working forevermore. I want to be semi-retired in, a few years' time. And my goal is to build the shop up so that my daughter, who is currently a teacher, so that she can take the shop over. And then she can do with it whatever she wants to do with it. But me, at where I am now, the shop is doing so well that I'm really happy with it, and I love it, and I really enjoy going to it. And I just don't want to stretch myself so thin that I'm working day and evening and packing up boxes and having to get more stock. And I personally don't really want to go down that route.
So you found something that you've got a passion for, that you love doing, but you've already built in your exit plan at the other end to say, okay, fine. And your daughter presumably is on board with this.
Yeah.
And you said, brilliant. So I think this is so important. So when I opened I opened a hair salon, which is my first business 10 years ago. And I dreamt of growing it. And I did expand. I did my own hair care line, which I sold online. I opened a second store. But then very quickly, my life changed, and family members weren't very well and such and such. And so it actually meant that I had to reduce everything. And my exit plan was always years down the line. I wanted to keep growing it. And then I had to suddenly go, well, actually, what's important to me? And what was important to me was my family. I needed to be closer to them. I needed to be a bit near them. And I'm fortunate that I've got a management team in there. I've got people in there looking after it, and running it the way that I want it to be. But very quickly, I had to completely relook at my entire life and say, who am I? Where do I want to be in my future? And I think a lot of people start a brick and mortar business, especially, and say, right, well, they go into it and they don't have this plan the other end. And things just sort of take over. And there can be this massive snowball of stuff coming flying at you, and you just don't really know what you're reaching out for. You're just reaching out for something. And I really love that you've forward thought about this, and you're doing things that meet your needs and make you happy. And I think there is so much to be said for that.
I think so. Having been in a position previously where my life wasn't my own and I was working crazy hours, I was traveling all over the country, I was managing a huge healthcare service, and I was just exhausted and burnt, and I had no control over my life at that point. I just was working and working and working and working. And now I think I'm doing what I love. The business is growing, it's growing really well, but it still feels manageable to me because it is only me. And I could get somebody else to help me in the shop, and I will at some point, I'm sure. I've got somebody that helps me on odd days if I need a day off, but I like my shop. I'm such a big part of my shop that it's such a personal brand that and I just love it. I love it, and I just want to be able to grow my customer base at the shop, post out things if people are not local, but not so that it's unmanageable.
So how do you balance this then? How do you sort of plan your day or your week? Do you have set sort of chunks of time that you focus on specific things, or do you sort of deal with it as it comes?
Well, in an ideal world, I'd like to say that I've got a plan, but in reality, my ADHD brain doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
So
I know that feels.
so I do jump from one thing to another, and we close on Monday and Tuesday. I'm open Wednesday through to Sunday. I do try and plan my social media content.
And do you schedule this?
Some of it, and some of it I do live, and so it's a 50-50.
Okay.
But I plan what I'm going to do, and
Yeah.
I generally on a Wednesday, because it's a bit quieter, I'm able to do my little videos and get my content ready to post through the week. I do try and think about having a plan, but it kind of doesn't really work that well. That's something I do need to work on.
So do you, or could you, for each month, at least, so if you're buying stock fairly regularly, so you know each month you can, well, now you've gone through your first year, you can look back and see what particular things sold well and how busy your shop was, and areas that you could have different types of promotions or offerings going on to sort of bump you up in the months that were lower last year. But for you to have a whole messaging system around whatever it is that you have for this month, so you have a clear focus, is that something that you already do, or is that something that you could do?
It's something that I think about doing, but I'm going to be completely honest, and it's not necessarily something that I do. Because I in my head I have these plans, and it doesn't always quite happen that way. But I think having a focus for the months would really help me, because then I could have the focus for the month, then my email could be, you know, that focus, and my social media could be that focus. That's something I need to work on.
It's just so when I work with my clients, like we talk about so somebody has to see and understand something 14 times to resonate with it. So for you to have a plan for each month, so you would have your annual goal, whatever that might be, and then we chunk this down into quarterly segments. So we have 90-day focus point, and then we take that and we boil that down to a month, and then we boil it down further to like 2 weeks. So we then go, right, every 2 weeks, we run a certain strategy. We have our focus on emails, our focus on social media, see what's working, what's not working, and why. And then we adjust it for the next 2 weeks. So we can keep doing what's working. We can change what's not and tweak it and see if we can get something to work the next 2 weeks. And as we keep going forwards, we can keep building and growing and growing and growing on focusing on things that have been proven to work for us. And if it becomes helpful to you, I would suggest doing something like that, just to keep this focus and keep you knowing what it is that you should be talking about. Because I think
I think that would really work well, because I know how my brain works, and I jump from one thing to another to another to another, which is confusing. And I think I project that out. So because I'm very much in the moment, I think, oh, I'll show this, I'll talk about this, I'll do this. But it's all a bit of a jumble, because that's the way I think. So by having a clear, this is the focus, let's just focus on this thing, this collection, or this thing that's happening this month, and actually kind of like put more focus on that thing, is going to then I'm going to be able to show it better than jumping from one thing to another.
Yeah, well, even down to, so you might be similar to me. I'm quite visual in the way that I approach things. So I am still somebody that has notepads and pens, and I have to physically write things down.
Yeah.
So what I do is I create spider diagrams for the way that I approach everything, and I have pages on the floor, and I'm there like drawing it out, and to have a monthly focus, but then say, right, this is how we can do this for new customers. This is how we can do this for our existing customers. And you can break down even frequently asked questions that people would say. You can break down different topics of how you're going to achieve this. And even though it's all pointing back to the same end result, the same offer, the same promotion, whatever it might be that you have running, you're targeting different people at different points on their journey with your business, and you're helping them to understand you in a way in which gets them at the point at where they're at. Does that make sense?
It does. It really does. And I don't think I've really thought about it that way before, if I'm honest. I think I just I feel like I just talk to the same, possibly to the same people, and I don't think about some of these people that follow me know me. I mean, they probably all know who I am because they see me on social media, but some people know me really well from the shop. Some people have just come across me, yet I'm speaking to them in the same way.
Yeah.
Which,
And
yeah.
It's just about connection and how like you do it fabulously. Like the way on your Instagram page, the way you make people feel because you show your face, you show who you are, is amazing. But it comes to a point where, yes, somebody that has previously shopped with you knows you in a more personal way, to how somebody who has just come across your page, they need to just be spoken about and really shown who you are, why you do what you're doing, and why should they buy into you? Why should they believe what you're giving them is what they want? Like, and so it just, as you go through, I would just suggest, to help you, saying, okay, well, we can do this for our current customers, this for new people. This is how we can get them to understand more of you and why you're so passionate about what it is that you do.
Yeah, that's definitely something to think about going forward, definitely.
So so if we go back to your store, what do you do to create this experience for your customers? What do you do to get them so they remember you and want to keep coming back again?
So I feel, I like I said before, it is very much a personal brand. So it is me in there. My husband comes in at the weekends to help out as well. It's like his unpaid job. But it is just us, and it's very, it doesn't feel, and it is very, I know I keep saying it's very tiny, but it is very tiny, and it's beautifully decorated. We've got wallpaper, we've got dark walls, we've got beautiful lighting, we've got furniture rather than shelving, and it looks like it could look like somebody's room. So we just try and create that really welcoming, friendly, no pressure, come in for a chat type feeling, because I move things around in the shop a lot as well, just to kind of freshen it up, and I just try and create that. I think about my shop as, it's the kind of shop that you go into and you didn't know that you needed those things in your life until you see them, and then you need them. So I just try and have things that are just a bit different, that I think that yeah, that people really love. I offer help with decorate, like I talk to people about paint colors and how they can move, what they can do in their own room to pull it together. I do offer like workshops on that as well, because quite often people come in and they can't quite see the vision in their own room, and it can just be a few little tweaks and it pulls it all together. So I offer that as well. But mostly it's just a really nice, warm, welcoming, friendly, nice shop.
So it's like a whole holistic approach that you have to your store. Like it's more than offering lifestyle products. This
Yeah,
is actually how I can help you turn a room, your home, into a space that is the one that you vision, but you can't quite create yourself.
yeah, and it is just that people come in. We've got a lot of new developments being built around us, so lots of new build houses that are kind of not really that don't really have a lot of character to them.
Yeah.
And people come in and they can be people can just be a bit overwhelmed by a room, and they're not quite sure where to start or what to start with. And I know that people can make costly mistakes. So, I'm quite happy to look at somebody's photo and talk to them about where they could place their furniture, what's missing in the room, what colours, would work well with what colours. And just it is more than a shop. I think it's a nice shopping experience.
Yeah, and that is that I know you at the center of your business, and it is completely revolving around you and who you are and your personality and your love. And I love how you have managed to create something which is bigger than any product that you sell. Like the experience that you offer
Yeah,
is you. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's this connection that you're creating with people as soon as they walk through your door. It's a warm welcome, but a welcome into your world that
yeah,
you've created.
yeah. It is. And I love interiors. I love everything about interiors. I live in a little cottage that we've just almost finished renovating,
It never ends, does it?
which is like it's 350 years old, and it's a
Wow.
little thatched cottage, and it's super chocolate box from the outside, but inside I've decorated it in a way that you wouldn't expect. And I'm able to show people that when they say, but my room's tiny, I say, but so is mine, and look at this. And I host workshops here as well at my home, so
Okay.
that I'm able to show people how colours work together and how patterns work together. And my home is very much an extension of my shop, and my shop is very much an extension of my home. Without crossing the line, I'm able to show that actually you don't need to buy lots and lots and lots of things to make your room a cozy room. Just this one thing or these two things can really make a difference.
And it's, I would say, brave introducing people into your home, but I take it they're people that you've met
Yeah,
previously.
yeah,
But you're similar to the way that I work. So my partner is an interior designer, and whenever I've had the same flat for many, many years in Brighton, and now we've moved quite in quick succession, just renting places. And every time we move somewhere, we've gone like, I can't see it. I can't see
yeah,
what you mean by this. And I'm also restricted by, I don't like too much choice. And so I have to go, right, you either have to put me in the room and tape the floor so I can see like where things are going to go, or I have to be given like a type of mood board and like so I can physically be there. So I completely see why you bringing people into your home, like I would be a perfect customer for that. Because I have to be there and say, right, now I know what you're on about, and not just a conversation.
And that's why I find that bringing, we've got a tiny cottage, and I only have like 2 or 3 people at any one time, and it's only every like couple of months. It's not something we do all the time, but these are generally people that I know from the shop, and they can't visual, even though I've talked to them about it and shown them, they can't always visualize how things can work. And I just found I either go to their home and do it, or they come to me. Like it's either way, and both work equally well. Some people like me to go to their home, some people like to come here, and it works. It just works. And I do it if it's here, I just do it like there's always both of us here, and people can visualize it easier if they can see how I've done it. And my home is on, my renovation journey is on Instagram. We have had a photo shoot that's going in Good Home magazine in the spring from the cottage. So I'm used to showing my home in a way. So it's not it's not something that I did on a whim. My home is out there anyway, so it to me it makes sense to bring people in to show them how I've used products from the shop and how I've styled them, and how by just putting these little bits together it can make it very different than just having one thing. So it kind of works.
And I hope your Good Home magazine has got your shop featured in it as well.
Yes.
Perfect. So do you have any ways in which you have managed to work so far where have worked quite well for you? So any strategies that you've gone, actually you've either held an event or a workshop in your store that has worked well, or have you worked with any of your local shops around your area in your muse that has been great at pulling new customers to you?
So I came into the muse so we've got different businesses in the muse. We've got some that have been there for many, many, many years, and we've got some that are fairly new, in the last 2 or 3 years. So people have got very different opinions and ideas about how their businesses work, and so it's kind of tapping into other businesses and other business owners that share similar thoughts to me. So I'm really lucky in that I've got one shop that is next to me, and it's a beautiful shop, and Rebecca sells house plants and pots and is really knowledgeable. And again, we're really lucky that she's the only shop in the town that does that as well, apart from like the DIY centres and things. So she's a very specialist shop. Her brand is very personal, mine is very personal. So between us, we try and do things that would attract, because our ideal clients would be the same people. So it works really well. So we do like things together. We might do collaborations, and we've got some plans for next year to do a like fun shopping event. We've got a shopping event this Saturday for Christmas, which all of the shops are involved in. But we're looking next year at doing some collaborations for us, maybe some workshops in how and join forces, and like how to style a room, but also how to put plants in that room to kind of give it some more life. So we've got plans for next year, but I do believe that as independent businesses, we are our own force, but together we're more powerful.
Completely. And it sounds like the perfect combination between the two of you. I love a plant. I mean, looking around, even the room that's in front of me, and there are plants everywhere. But to be able to tap into both of your customer base already and expand that and keep building trust and knowledge with people is incredible. And I think you're so fortunate to have found each other and be on each other's doorsteps, like to be
to think in a very similar way. I think that's been so helpful. Her business is 3 years old, so still a new business. But we have connected because we have the same vision and we have the same. They're both very personal brands. They're both quite different. They are not that we've got the kind of shops that people would come to the Muse for our shops, and so we just need to build on that collective.
And you will find that more people will come because of you. Like, I think it's a powerful thing when you have this space where it's all independent shops and you're all feeding off of each other, you're helping each other, you're breathing life into a town where actually a lot of the bigger shops, I was just reading this morning, more big shops are folding at a silly pace. And to have a space where people feel like they're seen, they're understood, they're noticed, which is what we all want in our lives. And to be able to pass these customers around you all is so good for you and for your customer base.
And I'm under no illusions that the high street is not so great, and in our town it isn't either. It's we've got a lot of empty shops, we've got a lot of the same shops, the vape shops and the barbers and the cafes, and so we have to try and join forces to make something worthwhile for people to come into town, because if they drive through the high street, there's not really a lot there to attract them. But we're just off of the high street and we're our own little collective. So once people know about us, they come back and they love it. It's just, we just need to work on getting that word out so that people do find out about us.
But it does sound like that is happening. I mean, even in the 14 months that you say that you've been there, for people to be coming to you from further afield already is something that it's obviously a work that's happening for you. Nothing happens overnight, unfortunately, but it sounds like there is a plan that is happening.
It is happening. It is. I just need to stay focused, really, I think, to continue that growth and to stop jumping from one thing to another.
No, I completely appreciate that. I mean, I know what you mean because my brain does the same thing. And I found this, so I work with Motion, which is like it helps me track and plan everything that I'm doing. And I found it so helpful because before I would write everything down in my notepad and I'd tick it off. I love ticking stuff off. But similar to you, the way you say it is that I then would bounce here and I'd bounce over there, but I would lose things in the middle that I really needed to get done. And I love being able to turn these things from red to green as I'm going through it, and I'm saying, yes, by this date I'm going to do it, and it's happened, and I've achieved something.
Yeah, I have notebooks and lists, and it's chaos really, because I have lists everywhere, and I don't quite know where I am or what needs to be done. So I do need to streamline that, definitely.
So what is the best piece of advice somebody has given you on your journey so far?
I think it's probably just be yourself. Don't overcomplicate it, and just be yourself. And if you can be yourself and do the thing that you love, you're going to enjoy the thing that you do. Because I'm not, and I agree with that, because I'm just me, and I'm not trying to be somebody else, and I'm doing the thing that I love, and I buy the things that I love, which means that then I can talk about them in a way that is not salesy. I can, because I actually truly love these things and have them in my home. So I think the best piece of advice would be just be yourself.
I love that. Be yourself in every sense of the word. Like when you're showing up in social media, when you're in your store, like wherever you have your shop, it's got to have you and your beliefs and your values and you at the center of it.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
So I will, underneath this episode, I will have a link to your web shop and to your Instagram page, so anyone can find you and they can learn more about you and come into your world, because I do really, really love it, and I love how personal you've made it for people that come and find you. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Did you know that every successful product-based business is built on 4 essential pillars? These are attracting new customers, encouraging repeat purchases, increasing spend per visit, and creating a success-orientated mindset. Without the right mindset, even the best strategies struggle to thrive. But when these 4 pillars are solid, you are on track for wild success. And here's the exciting news. These 4 pillars are the foundation of the brand new Abundant Business Membership. Inside, you'll gain step-by-step videos to help you implement proven systems tailored to your business. Whether you're online, have a brick-and-mortar shop, or work from a market store. Each month, I'll release relevant content focused specifically on what product business owners need. Plus, every Tuesday, you'll receive exclusive one-on-one access to me via Telegram, where you can drop me questions as much as you want, and I'll respond personally with insights and advice tailored just for you. Are you ready to build your wildly successful product business? Simply click the link below to get started, and I'll see you in Telegram on Tuesday.